and welcome to the Sastranti Connect YouTube video taking a look at the important factors to consider when choosing the right counselling course and the right counselling course provider for you. In this particular video, what we're going to do is look at some of those various different aspects to consider to make sure you're choosing the right course for you, the right course that takes into account getting a membership of BACP or NCS, one that has the right skills to prepare you to be an effective counsellor, and also other factors to consider as well, such as time, such as cost, whether it's online, whether it's in person, etc. Because it's very important that you select the right course that is right for you, because you're going to need to invest a lot of your time into it, and it is worth it because you will become a qualified counsellor, you'll be able to help people, and also, it's very important that you undertake the right training to make sure you're in the right position to help people. And if you do like this video, please like and subscribe at the bottom of the screen or leave us a comment. And also visit the website www.astranticonnect.com for more information about our courses and also various different counselling insights as well. So we're going to start this video by looking at how important the cost should be when choosing a counselling course provider. Now, this is very important to consider because, of course, you have to consider the cost. It's very expensive to become a counsellor. Counselling training is very expensive and it takes a lot of time. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of the home study courses are quite popular, because they're quite cheap in comparison. But the problem with that is that they do not provide you with the formal hours of training that you need to become a qualified counsellor, that you need to become a recognised member of BACP. So unfortunately, there is no real way around this. It is expensive, it is time consuming, but that is because it is so important that you receive good training. If you have substandard training, you're going to be a substandard counsellor, and that could have a serious impact on your clients' lives. Remember, you are in a position of responsibility. But of course, that doesn't mean you should just book on the most expensive course. Yes, generally the more expensive providers are going to provide better quality services, but of course you still need to pick the right course for yourself. So what we've done here is we've looked, and this, bear in mind, is the CPCAB averages. There might be other types of courses that are cheaper or more expensive, but CPCAB generally is considered the most prestigious of the accounting qualifications. And so what we've done is we've taken a look at lots of different providers across the market, and we've created average estimations of the cost and the time that it will take to qualify. So let's take a look, and we'll start by looking at the courses that you need to qualify as a counsellor. So that's levels 2, 3 and 4, particularly level 4. That is the final formal diploma that is needed to qualify as a counsellor. Now, level 2 generally takes around about 6 months, and you're looking to spend around £800 to £1,000 on this. CPCAB level 2, very, very important for building those initial skills that you will continue to build as you progress. CPCAB level 3, again, around about 6 months, and will cost on average between £950 and £1,500. This is very much a prep course leading into level 4. You learn a lot of the initial counselling theories that you'll build upon in level 4. And finally on to level 4, which will take 2 years to complete. There may be an additional year on top of that, as you are given an extra year to get all your practical hours, your supervised counselling hours up in there as well, and this will cost between £5,500 and £7,500. So very expensive, but it is probably the best core practitioner course on the market, and will put you in a fantastic position to start working as a qualified counsellor. So it is an expensive undertaking, but it is worth it to get the right training. If you want to be a good counsellor, if you want to help individuals, you want to help your clients, you need the proper training. I can't stress that enough. And then on top of that, you have the additional post-qualifications, and these are level 5, which is essentially builds on your knowledge of level 4, helps you to specialize in certain areas and open your own practice, and that will take a year, will cost between £2,300 and £2,750. And finally, level 6, this is the supervisionary qualification that will allow you to qualify as a counselling supervisor, and that again will take a year and will be between £1,750 and £2,750. And it's worth noting that these aren't actually necessary to qualify as a counsellor, but they will help you to progress your career. So what I would say to you here is that yes, this is very expensive, but if you find a cheaper course that doesn't fulfill your needs, perhaps you should let you know that it's maybe not the course that you should be taking. So, for example, let's say you find a course that is half the price of any of these courses here, but it won't give you the practical experience. It won't let you become a member of a professional body. Is it really cheaper when you consider that it won't actually allow you to meet all your requirements? It won't provide you with that solid undertaking to become a qualified counsellor, to become a member of BACP. So that's the cost. What we're now going to look at is a lot of the other points, a summary of the other points that you need to consider when choosing the right counselling course, and by extension of that, the right counselling training provider for you. So I've got a list of the different things here. One we've already discussed here is the qualification. It needs to be something that actually provides you with a formal qualification that is going to meet the requirements for membership of one of the professional bodies. If you take one, it's their own qualification, it's not approved by any awarding body or any membership body, is it really worth taking? It might give you the knowledge, but it's not going to count for anything when you apply to be a member of the professional bodies, such as BACP or NCS, and that's also followed up in this point here. Good counselling training will set you up to get entry into BACP or NCS. If your counselling course that you're looking at can't promise that, and it doesn't count as formal training, you should be really considering whether you undertake it, because you might be wasting your time. Other things that you need to consider as well is basically whether it is going to be online or distance learning, or the location as well. By location here, what we mean is whether it's going to be in person or online. There are plenty of formal online courses that will give you formal training hours. So it's not to say that just because something is online, it means it's not going to count. There is online training that can do that, but beware that level 4 for CPCAB at least must be taken in person. The big difference here to be aware of is the difference between online and distance learning. Online classes take the classroom, the in-person experience, and put it online. That counts as formal training. Everyone is there at the same time learning the same thing. The tutor is there, your peers are there, you're having practical sessions. Distance learning is where it perhaps will be pre-recorded content. There's no formal practice involved. It's just learning the content, watching pre-recorded content, etc. And you get a qualification or a certificate at the end of it. That is what is considered asynchronous training. It is not recognized by the formal professional membership bodies. So be very wary of that. And that's another thing to look out for in the format of the sessions. If you're unsure, look at the format of the sessions. Is it going to be practical? Is it going to be synchronous, as in everyone is in sync, everyone is together learning the same thing at the same time? Or is it going to be pre-recorded textbook type learning? In which case that does not qualify as formal hours. Now, even on a formal course where you're attending at a set time with everyone, you might have to do some work in your own time, such as your journals or some further reading, but that's part of doing a course. That doesn't make it not synchronous learning. As long as there is a synchronous, the actual teaching is done in a synchronous session. You have a tutor, you have your peers together. Other things to look out for as well would be your own technical requirements, particularly if you're doing online learning. Make sure you've got an internet connection, make sure you've got a decent computer, make sure a tablet, make sure you've got a printer if you want to print anything out, etc. So do be aware of that your counselling training provider won't provide you with all the actual equipment in order to undertake an online course, for example. You'll need to make sure you have your own internet connection, your own computer. Don't prioritize the price either, particularly if a cheaper course doesn't meet some of these other requirements. If you've got a cheaper distance learning course, it doesn't matter how much cheaper it is than a formal online course or a formal in-person course, because actually it is, in a sense, worthless. That sounds like a very strong word, but if your goal is to become a member of BACP and practice as a qualified professional counsellor, then it's essentially worthless because it will not grant you that membership. Also, look for people who are counsellors as well. Look for tutors who themselves are counsellors, because they will have that practical real-world experience. Anyone can perhaps learn the course content, learn the theory, the academic side of being a counsellor and teach that, but it's not an academic course. Counselling is a very vocational course, it's a very practical course. And so having someone who is a counsellor, even if they have limited experience as being a tutor, but they have a lot of experience being a counsellor, that will be more valuable than someone who has no counselling experience, but lots of experience of being a tutor. So that's a very important factor to consider. One of the reasons why CPCAB courses are actually very good is that by the regulations of CPCAB, all CPCAB tutors have to be a counsellor with a lot of experience of being a counsellor and have to be working in practice in addition to being a teacher at the same time. So that's another reason why CPCAB courses are very good. And some other general points for you to consider if you are in discussions with, or you're thinking about joining a course, you're thinking of going to a particular training provider. Other things that you can be aware of here, or other things to do, is talk to them. For example, email them, ring them up, use a chat box if they have one, such as we do here at Astranti Connect. They'll be able to give you honest, open advice on their website or through email, etc. So if you do want to know, if you think, well, I'm looking at these courses, what makes yours different, or will your course allow me to apply for BACP membership, etc., by all means, just talk to them. I'm sure they'll be very considerate. No, we are very considerate here. We always get back to students here at Astranti Connect. Another option is to use a training provider from an official directory. Particularly if it's a formal qualification like CPCAB, you can find a list of providers on a formal official directory. For example, CPCAB has a directory. You can go on their site and they will give you a list of all the formal training providers, all the officially accredited training providers offering their courses. That way you can be sure you're getting one of quality. Also, look for the level of support as well. How much support are you likely to need, and make sure that it's going to be a course that is going to give you that practical online support, or practical support in person or online, because that again is very important. So in short, consider all these things. Consider what your needs are. Consider whether you want a course that is online, in person. Make sure it is one that is going to meet the professional body's expectations. Make sure you're dealing with tutors that have counselling experience as well. And if you have any issues, by all means, use an official directory. If you're not sure about a particular provider, are they on the official directory for CPCAB, for example, to help reassure yourself over that. And also just talk to your training provider as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that has given you some additional advice on what to consider when choosing the right training provider. Please do get in touch if you have any questions, or drop a comment, and do visit the website www.astranticonnect.com for more information. And of course, feel free to email us and to contact us directly as well, as we are always happy to hear from students. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to hear from all of you again soon.